I just wanted to bring to your attention that we've had a long-standing relationship with a number of the organizations in the city, especially with the police services for the park. We've always tried to maintain the level of security that's fitting for the number of people that we have in the park during the festival. And over the years, obviously, with the entertainment as it grows, more and more people end up coming to the park and whatnot. We just wanted to make sure that the level of security is sufficient. Now, we've been monitoring it over the last number of years, and this, from my perspective, it seems to be adequate. But I wanted to, first of all, bring it back to the board to see if there's anything we can do to tweak to make sure that it's at the right levels, and or if there's actually a need for additional services, or maybe are we going a little bit too heavy on the police sports side or the police services side for things like midway and whatnot during the festival. The reason why it was brought to my attention, obviously, there was questions in the past about how much we actually get in kind from the board, and upon review, I wanted to make sure that I had all the numbers accurate. According to our ledger accounts and whatnot, we do, in fact, pay for all the services, as far as I'm aware, for police services that are in the park. I don't know if you're able to comment on that. Is there any in-kind services that are given above and beyond what we're charged for?
Okay, anybody can choose to comment?
2012, we staffed the boat on the river. That was at our cost. Okay, our cost assigned to lift off for that. So we're there to basically ensure safety for the people participating in the wood rides in case they ended up in the water. But the rest of it, that was quite right. They don't cost. They do this for officers. Okay.
And are they paying officers who are off duty to?
Yes.
Okay. To supervise the activities?
Yes.
Okay.
Just a comment I'd like to make is, as you know, the lift-off came to council as an outside agency, looking for dollars, and I was under the impression that there was dollars there. I can recall 2 years ago asking, why are we paying this? Because we were being struggled. There's, I should say, not struggling, but being accused of too much expenditure in the police department. So at the time, I can recall the mayor said, we should leave that there because you guys are having a hard time. And after I mentioned this, I followed up with the chief, who indicated to me in 2011, chief, or just before that, they had taken out of the budget. It was covered in overtime. It's not a line item, it's covered in overtime. So therefore, I was coming what I understood, but after clarification with them, the chief indicated that they don't have it.
Okay.
So I'm not sure chief wants to comment any more on that. But my understanding, a couple years back when I answered
So that's fine, Andre. We'll find out whether there's something else that is.
Okay.
And so you did ask another question, if I might raise it, and that was whether or not, in our view, the protection of public safety was adequate for the need that's there. And I don't know whether the chief could comment on that today, but we'd certainly be happy to look into that if it's needed. So do you have a preliminary comment in respect to that question?
Other than the number of police staff that we recommend that an organizer pay for or deploy to ensure community safety is one done through operational planning and risk management. So the number of police officers there that are paid for by the organizers are there at our suggestion to ensure safety.
Okay. And so there's communication, and you're providing for the cost of the number of officers that the service is recommending you should have.
And that's the way we operated last year. We wanted to make sure that there was enough sufficient coverage, especially in the midway, where it tends to be a little bit more activity. And it was under the recommendation when I spoke to Tom Racine to have that covered, and that's what the additional cost was, because our costs had gone up from the year prior. So that was my initial inquiry. I know that this sufficient coverage is good, and we're well prepared prepared to assume those costs again, especially the beer tent and the cash trailer. That's a mandated cost on our part. I was just looking to acquire if there was actually in-kind services that we gladly accept those too. But if it's not in the budget, then.
Sounds like you're getting some on the river, Mr. Trumbull.
You make any money out of this lift off the beer tent?
They are revenue streams, yes.
So you do make something.
Yes.
I don't think it's a profit-making enterprise that way. It's
Yeah, you're probably looking at
a service that
3%, 4%.
Andre?
Yes.
Chief, is there any other organization we donate services to, police, other than maybe Family Day or where it's involved? We talked about, I know that Winterfest hasn't had any coverage from the police department, but I've noticed nothing in the park. So I'm just wondering, is it because of beer tents and everything else?
With not to individual organizations, we do provide police services for events such as Canada Day, which is a national event, the Santa Claus Parade, which is a community event, not run by an outside organization. So we provide to those events police officers who are necessary to keep the community safe. Again, not large amounts attributed to our involvement in those particular events. Liftoff, prior to them paying for pay duties, was probably the most significant draw on our resources in the amount of about $10,000. Last year was the first year they paid for the police presence, so again, that wasn't in our budget.
We have actually paid for police services for at least the last 4 years.
At beer tent, I believe.
A beer tent, yeah. So the services you're referring to is strictly in the Midway, because we've always paid for the cash trailer and the beer services.
As I indicated at the budget meeting we were at, City Council, have you looked at capital security or one of the security firms? I'm sure with the police department, it's costing you, you're paying overtime. But I think one of the security, because as I said, my brother-in-law's in Ottawa, he's a control for capital security, and he indicated to me everything going on in Ottawa is covered by security people.
Yeah. We actually have a contract with Capital Security, and they do, we, into the tune of, just last year, we spent $2,000, as well as in-kind services that they provided in exchange for a sponsorship. And it was the same in 2011 and 2009. They had a smaller participation in 2010, just under $1,000 that we paid for their services. So we do actually pay them for a portion. So that's what my inquiry was. If it's required to have a security presence in the park, is it a police presence that's required, or can we have a recommended firm and maybe we can augment more people in the park in exchange?
Jason, I think that's a question that you maybe should put to the chief and his staff, and make sure that everybody's comfortable with the arrangements. So now, are you proposing anything today that's different from what you've usually done, or making a request of us?
Yeah. Well, the original request was, the inquiry was to see if there actually was in-kind services that are given to this, or set aside for the dog, because if there is, I would like to definitely take advantage of that. If not, then I understand.
Okay, well, I encourage you to keep the happy dialogue going that you have with the leaders of the police service. And on behalf of the board, I want to thank you for coming to talk to us about your event, and tell you that we admire what you're doing. We're pleased with the contribution that you make to the community, and we look forward to a good partnership between your work and the police services to the extent that that's necessary.